All right, good morning, everyone. Looks like everyone has joined so far. If there's any more, we'll add as we go. But we do want to get the meeting started. We know everyone has things to do. Sure, getting ready for another week. So we'll want to go ahead and get started and cover some good information. Got quite a few topics to cover. It's kind of going to be a CSA themed safety meeting. And if you have any questions, like always, feel free to give us a shout out, answer any questions, maybe clear up any myths out there in relation to CSA violations, how they affect you as the driver, how they affect the carrier, FedEx, since you guys all operate under FedEx's DOT number. So everyone gets combined in all their statistical categories. I think there's over 100,000 drivers on the road for FedEx ground. And so everyone plays a big part in that, as well as FedEx plays a big part of it and the maintenance side of it. So we'll go ahead and get started. Again, if you have any questions along the way, or if you want to wait to the end, just unmute yourself and then we'll be able to ask, you can ask the questions and we'll try and get you some answers. But we're going to go ahead and get started. David?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. As Aaron said, we're going to talk about the CSA. And most people don't, even though they know the name, FMCSA, they don't know what it means. The FMCSA is the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. And this is an administration that was established to check on trucking companies and drivers in terms of safety. The CSA is compliance, safety, and accountability program. That means that they are the ones who are responsible for making sure that trucks are inspected and that trucking companies comply in terms of safety. They can pull your license. They can stop a trucking company if they have too many violations from even operating. So it's a pretty heavy thing that they do. Part of the program that they, as part of that program, they do the roadside inspections. Now, inspections can be done either roadside or as you go through the scales or as you go through areas where they have got it set up to do inspections. So lots of ways for that to occur. But generally, there's a visual inspection that's done. It's a cursory inspection when you go through the scales. The scale master can look at your vehicle, and if he sees anything that looks bad, like you have wheel seal oil and little star pattern off the axle, they will pull you in for that. If your lights aren't working up correctly, they can pull you in for that. There are lots of reasons for them to pull you in. That's the cursory inspection. They can call you in to have a more thorough inspection. Usually that's because what they see at the very beginning is something that says this person or this company or this driver is not really taking care of the vehicle. So in order to do that, you should have a good inspection before you leave. Your truck's clean. You should obey the regulations and in terms of going in and out of the scales or in and out of the inspection area, and be polite and do whatever office you're instructed to do by the officers, even if they are not necessarily CHP or state officers. There are inspection officers who are part of the safety program for each state police department for each state, but their job primarily is to do inspections. Let's talk about, there's different levels of inspections. There's 6 altogether, but we're not going to be involved with all the 6. We're really only going to be involved with 4. The one that's important is the number 1, level 1 inspection. It's the most thorough inspection. Not only do they inspect the truck, but they also inspect the driver. They're looking for documents. They want to see your driver's license. They want to see your medical certificates, And by the way, if you have on your license that you have to wear glasses while you drive or corrective lenses in your drive, if you are stopped or if you're pulled over, do not take them off. If the officer comes up and he sees that you have your glasses on the dash, you are in violation. Sounds like a tricky thing, but that's what they do. Anything that you are required to have needs to be where it's supposed to be. If you have to wear glasses for correction, keep them with you. Don't take them off. Your truck book with your registration and safety, anything you have that has a hazmat tag to it, should be within reach. When you're sitting down at your seat, that means it can be above, on the door, or on the floor next to you, but it has to be someplace that you can reach without taking your seatbelt off. So, as I said, they're going to check your medical record. They're going to check your duty status, your documentation, your supporting documents about that. They're going to check for annual inspections. And in California, they will also inspect for your quarterly inspections. Now, FedEx does that on a quarterly basis anyway, but that's an internal inspection. It's not really part of the FMCSA's inspection. They're going to check to see that you have your registration in the truck, that you have your insurance, that you have the last inspection that you had. They're going to check that that you have information on how to let the police officer know or the officer know how to transfer information from your electronic logs. FedEx provides you with a sheet that tells how to do that. You should have that with you. It should be in your book. It should be available to you at all times, so that when you're asked, that's one of the things they're going to look for. During a level 1 inspection, they're going to check for a brake, any coupling devices, your exhaust system, the frame, your fuel system, all of your lights. If you have cargo, how your cargo is secured, the steering mechanism, suspension, tires, trailer bodies, wheels and rims, windshield wipers. Windshield wipers should be working, and you can have fluid in your windshield wipers so that when you turn them on, your windshield can be washed. Okay? You're going to check for if you have any hazardous material, whether you have a certificate for that. Okay? There are many drivers don't understand this, but even in other states, you are required. There's a time when you are required to have tape in your truck. Even if you're like you guys are in Florida, but if you travel through states like Colorado or Arkansas, Illinois, Indiana, you're required to have chains in your vehicle for the number of axles that you have, and they need to be within a certain time period. In California, they're required between September and October to May and June. In Colorado, they're required in September through June. So each state has those requirements. They can inspect to see that you have that. You need to make sure that your fire extinguisher is full and secure, not bouncing around somewhere. You make sure that you have your triangles. You have access to your triangles. There's a new one, and that is your seatbelt has to be fully operational. In other words, you have to be able to be coupled and uncoupled while you're sitting there. This is the new within the year, but that's one of the things that is now required. So, why would you be pulled over? You can be pulled over for a lot of things. You can be pulled over because you are traveling too fast, because you are weaving in and out of traffic, because you are following too close. Excuse me. you're in the wrong lane, or you have a visible equipment defect, something that they can see. I'm sorry, I got a little thing here in my throat. Give me a second. If your carrier has a poor safety score, that will pull you in for that, and meaning that your carrier, FedEx, had enough scores that are high enough that and have had enough violations that now they just pull you in because they're checking to make sure that the whole your whole operation is safety minded. If you have an accident, they can do an inspection. They use an inspection there too, or they can be just a random inspection. They just decided to pull you over and do inspections. You've seen sometimes there are portable units on the side of the road, and they just pull you over. The officer will do an inspection. Okay, so these are the things that you need to be concerned about. If you do get pulled over, you can be pulled over for other things, like if they see you eating while you're driving and you got one hand on the wheel and you got a sandwich in your hand and you're looking around and you're not really paying attention, you can be pulled over for that. Especially in Georgia. You guys, I think, go through Georgia quite a bit. That's one of the things you need to know. There's another thing. When you have your phone needs to be in a place where, one, you're not holding it. You have a device to hold it for you. And it should not be in your field of vision in terms of your windshield. I've seen drivers that have a windshield sticker that sticks to the window, and their phone is attached to that, and it's up in your windshield. That is not allowed. Your phone has to be down below your sight level, below the windshield level, and it has to be secure in a way that you can only touch it with your finger to either activate it or deactivate it. When you're on the road for a long period of time, let's say you're going out for 5 days, you are required to do a visual inspection once a day. And that is both drivers. So basically that's two inspections. And you mark that on your log as a VI, that you do that inspection, and you have to take time to do it. 15 minutes minimum to do that VI. You walk around. Now, you're not required to go under the hood. You're not required to go underneath the truck, but you are required to go around and look to see that everything is okay, that your chains are working, that your coupling devices are working, and that your lights are all working. Your tires are okay. Lugs are okay. These are the things that are required. And that includes your dollies and the trailers. All of them need to be inspected once a day. One of the things that I have witnessed with, and I make sure my drivers do that, when you do your inspection before you leave your pre-trip inspection, one of the things you need to inspect for is that you have a registration for both trailers and tractor. Now, tractor registration, you probably keep in the cab, but FedEx has in the back of the trailers, they have a little rubber box. Make sure you have a registration in there. If for some reason you do not have a registration, you're going to be required to get one before you can move. So, and because also if you have an accident, on the accident report, the registration for that trailer is going to be on the report. If you don't have it with you, then that vehicle is now, you cannot pull that trailer anymore. So when you do your pre-trips, make sure that you have registration for both trailers. Now, the dolly has to have one too, but usually that's in a place that's not accessible if you're hooked up. It's usually a little round plastic container that's on the frame of the dolly on the inside where the air where the air connects, and it's usually in there. But when you are hooked to a trailer, it's kind of covered up, and nobody wants to really go in there and to get it because it involves disconnecting the trailer. So, but you need to make sure that you have that registration. Okay. What are violations? A violation is anything that is against the law. Speeding, changing lanes, doing all those things, those are violations. There are three possible things in terms of your violation. You can be warned by the officer. The officer can warn you verbally or in writing, give you a warning. The officer can also cite you. He can give you a written citation. And usually on some of the citations, they are a fix-it citation, meaning that and it is something that is wrong with the vehicle that needs to be corrected at some point, and you need to go back and have the truck re-inspected and prove that the violation has been corrected within a certain period of time. So that's what the difference between a violation and a citation. Violation is when you break the law. A citation is something that can be given to you to tell you that it is going to go on your record, or it's not necessarily going to go on your record if you fix it. So those are the three levels. Violations can CSA violations can not only go on your license, but on FedEx's CSA license program. So, as I said before, you can be pulled in because the FedEx has too many violations, and they can be pulled in just because the officer feels like it, because your safety scores are too high. Okay, but also you receive points as well. Now, if you feel that you've received a violation or a citation for something that is not correct, you can also appeal it. Okay, and one of the ways you can appeal it is to take a picture of what it is you see that's wrong. I had a driver who was pulled over in Nevada because all the trucks were being pulled over, and he was cited. And the officer wanted to see the co-driver's logs, and he woke the co-driver up, which you cannot do. It is against the law for an officer to violate the off-duty in the bunk requirement for the co-driver. And I fortunately had a CSA book with him, and he pulled up the violation, and the officer then, my driver said, "You need to go talk to your commanding officer." The commanding officer then came over and told the driver to go on, you're fine. So those things can be appealed. But you need to notify Lugmo of anything that is a defect so that they can repair it. Okay? Your driver vehicle inspection reports are usually on your ELD or on your paper logs if you are on paper logs, and they need to be completed before you leave your terminal. Okay, they have to be completed then. If you have a vehicle, you have a something and it needs to be red tagged. The red tags have two parts to them. One that is attached, that you attach to the front of the truck where the airlines are. The other is a tab that you tear off. You write the violation or what you're red tagging it for, and give it to whoever is in dispatch, so that they have a copy of that. You can also take a picture of it yourself and write it in and keep it with you so that you can prove that you reported that violation. In your truck, you should have an accident packet. That is a packet that is a white half envelope, and in there are cards. In the cards are cards for witnesses and ways for you to report the violation to FedEx. Okay, it has in there information for the person that has the accident with you, and also any witnesses that may be. Please fill those out. Also inform Lugmo right away when you are involved in an accident. In fact, that should be your first call. Let the company know, and let FedEx know. They should let FedEx know, because sometimes FedEx will send out an adjuster right away, and if we are in violation, or if we have the cause of the accident, the adjuster can make the payments right away, and that keeps them from going to see another lawyer and having that violation be more expensive than it should be. Okay, so all accidents should be reported, and you should know where that accident packet is. Also, take as many pictures as possible from as many different angles as possible. If you are involved in an accident, on your electronic recording device that's in the windshield, you should have a button that allows you to record right away. Let's say you get tapped or you get hit, you should not necessarily. There's an automatic one for moving too fast, braking too hard, or turning the steering wheel too hard. That's an automatic one. But you also need to know how to manually record what has just happened. So find out where that button is and make sure you can push it. Okay? That can determine whether your accident is preventable or not preventable. I have had situations where my drivers have been tapped by another trailer that is moving over into the lane, and it didn't necessarily record because it was just a tap, but the driver at that point touched the recorder, and you could see that the other trailer pulled over too far and tapped the front of my truck, or our truck. Okay, now when that driver came to his terminal, he said that my guy cut him off. So I had the insurance adjuster come to the office, and I played the video. At that point, they wrote me out a check because I had evidence. If I didn't have the evidence, it would be their driver's word against my driver's word. Okay? So the real thing is, keep your truck clean, keep your lights on, do a very good inspection, and that includes a post-trip inspection, okay? Which gives your company time to make any needed necessary repairs. Make sure that you have registration in your vehicle. Make sure that the book that you have that has all your registration and your information and everything, that it's handy, it's nearby. If you get stopped, be polite, be courteous, ask questions. You can ask, why am I being pulled over? The officer usually required. Now, one more thing, now I think about it. Sometimes you'll be given a visual inspection by an officer, but not given a citation, because sometimes an officer is not trained to be a CSA inspected officer. So he cannot write you a citation unless he is that, but he can give you a warning. He can give you a warning and a written warning. So sometimes if you ask for a citation, the officer, you can say, why didn't you give me a written citation? He will say, because I'm not trained to do that, but I am trained to tell you what violations you have. Okay. Are there any questions?
Yes, this is one of the drivers for here, and I just want to add about the windshield device holder. The officer tell me that it had to be next on the windshield, top or bottom corner, on the left side, close to the window, to the door on the pillar. Just to let you keep that in mind on it.
Now, what is on the lower right side on the windshield?
Uh, all right, the GPS device or the iPhone or the phone devices holder, they're gonna be on the top or bottom, uh, next to the pillar of the windshield. But
Closer to the
that's
driver's
what.
door, right?
Just the driver's
Yes. Yes. Yep. I just want to add that for them.
door. Okay.
Yeah.
That is the same place. That is the same place when if you have an inspection, that is the same place where they will put an inspection sticker.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just saying. So anything else? Anybody have anything else to add to that? Any experiences that you need to pass on to your co-drivers?
That'd be it right now.
Thank you for that. It's good info.
Bye-bye.
All right, Zena, you guys want to go over any updates or?
I think that David went basically over the most important thing, that we are at a point right now where FedEx is exceeding the score in the CSA. So we need to be ready. We need to be careful. We need to be very conscientious of everything we do. And we need to have pictures and evidence of everything we do as well. So if you put a red tag in a trailer, take a picture of that red tag and send us a picture. If you have any issue, even if it's in the yard, that you talk with a jockey or someone in the yard and they say anything, take a picture and send us a picture. In that way, we can, as David is mentioning, we can help you guys. Okay, the drug and alcohol clearinghouse queries, it's going to be out there. It's kind of confusing at this point. What are they going to do? They said if you did it and if you gave permission on 2021, you don't have to give permission again. But my suggestion is look at your email. Pay attention to your email. If you see that you have a query from FedEx First Advantage, make sure you enter in your clearinghouse account and accept that query. If not, you're going to be DQ until you do the process. Okay, for us, for Lugmo, please remember to use Safety Compliance and Solution app to do your check-in, check-out, your clock in, clock out, I should say, every day. It's easier for Amado and for us to calculate your hours. Complete trainings in timely manner. I've been finding myself sending reminders basically every day before the timeline. And I know it's stressful for you guys. You don't need anybody after you telling you what to do, but it's stressful for me as well because we need to be in compliance in order you guys can drive. A sleeper berth belt. If you are in a team, make sure you use that. You're out there. There's a lot of people during summertime doing crazy things. We don't want that you get hurt. Regular seatbelt, we shouldn't have any issue with that. Everybody should use the seatbelt every day, wherever you guys are. Remember, you need to wait until you do a complete stop before you remove your seatbelt. Because if a camera event is triggered and you didn't wait, then we need to accept that event. And the same issue cannot happen in 30 days, okay? Your logbook, paid attention to your status. Make sure you don't choose driving status if it's not the time for you to drive and you create a violation. At this point, they are not accepting the paper log anymore. And they are saying, because of the CSA, I'm guessing, that we cannot change or alter that, not even with a paper log. So we're working on that. We're talking about that. I'll let you know. But at this point, today, we cannot change driving time any longer. Okay? ABS lights in the trailer, make sure that you check that. Wilhelm, they also mentioned you something about the law enforcement about the ABS light and how to determine if it's working or not. I don't know if you want to say something about it, or Ruben, how do you know if you need to replace the fuse or not? Because that's not my area. So feel free to jump in. And the tires, please do not stand in front of the tire when you're filling up with air. If you notice it's leaking or if it's too hot, do not stand in front of the tire, okay? Well, for the fuses, someone is gonna say something?
Yes, Sanya, let me jump on that.
Okay.
Actually, I talked to the mechanic. The mechanic said that if you press the brake and the ABS light turn on and shut off, that means that the fuse is bad. The fuses, you can change it if the officer will let you change it. It's under the hood. You can open it, the box, the fuel box, and it's the biggest one there. At least on the Max and the Bobos. On the other trucks, I don't know about it yet, but yes, it's a big 30 amp green fuse, and that'll be it.
Okay, thank you,
For me.
Wilhelm. I guess that for the other Volvo and Peterbilt, Ruben and Alex, will next time we'll explain or we'll talk about that if they don't have time now. Okay. Well, that'll be everything for today.
All right, well, we appreciate everyone's time and thank you for all the information, a lot of good CSA information. And we'll talk again next month. Take care, everyone.
Okay, bye-bye.